to get your attention. We'll start the official portion of this program. Should be brief, I suspect. So, my name is Vicki Berry. I'm the director of the museum, and my colleagues Carrie Kim, Casey Pankey behind the video camera here, Arlette Clark on the bench. She's not benched, but she's on the bench. And then our student staff is back there greeting you as you come in. We are so delighted to have this cause and this reason. We hope you are having an amusing time. This is our museLAB. We've now dubbed it as it was on our grant application, a mobile makerspace. So I think we've improved that title a little bit more. We want to give, this is the world's smallest crib sheet. I want to give a shout out to Evelyn, Anna, and Cameron, the three students on the team who were the designated project for this go-around, and of course Paolo and Awelda for putting up with Paolo. And probably many midnight hours and all those other things where he's trying to get this thing done, right? So we're making good progress. And of course Dave, is Dave here? Dave is he's the lab tech or the lab director. And of course, the Oklahoma Arts Council, we have to thank them because they actually underwrote this program, this project. So we're very grateful for that. We're really excited because next week is the Arts Festival. We get to launch the museLAB for the Arts Festival. So we're really looking forward to that opportunity to introduce it to the first time to our public. And from there, who knows? It's going to travel. So I'm going to turn over the mic to Paolo and let him say his few words and we'll go from there.
Thank you, Vicki. I'm trying to read my notes. I try not to. Well, first of all, I would like to thank you, Carrie Kim, to make this happen, right? It was an idea that she had and that we embraced it and made us, the first semester quite extraordinary. And so the students enjoyed quite a lot. So thank you. Thank you, Vicki, to support the project, without you and the museum, and it was fantastic. So, like I said before, I was very, very grateful to us. And also thank you for allowing us to display it here, among the remarkable array of artist work that we have. It made us feel really special, right? And so thank you for that. So it's really an honor. I don't want to talk too much about the project. I want the students to talk about it, about the experience, what we went through, and actually how it works. Because this is just one of the three pieces that are going to come. They're all similar but also different. But I want them to tell you a little bit about their experience, and actually it works. Now it's static, but it's actually a very dynamic proposition. So, and of course, thank you guys to put up with me. Right, I push. I know, you guys know me. Every time was something wrong, right? And say, no, this we do it, and we do it, and we do it. And probably, we are still going to redo it. Some things. And so, but this is for you. Thank you. Should we want to go?
No, you're good.
Okay. Well, first of all, again, thank you so much to the museum for giving us the opportunity to even see some of our a design actually we built. A lot of times in architecture school, we're doing a lot of more kind of conceptual. We look at paper a lot, or screens and things like that. And I think, for us, this is like the kind of first time and kind of the only time in school that we actually get to see all these different pieces come together and think about architecture, tectonics, and kind of the built world in a different way. And I think that was really exciting for us. Thank you to Paolo for pushing us. For sure, there was we got it to a certain level, but it wouldn't be anywhere close to what it is now if you weren't there pushing us to redo and rethink and reanalyze and take it a step further and further. And so we're really appreciative of you and all that you've put in, the hours that you've put in to the project. I know for me, just talking about the general experience, I think it was kind of fun. We didn't actually get to pick our teams. Like it was just, we just kind of, I don't know if we drew out of a hat. I don't actually remember what exactly. It was just random. And so I think for me, I wouldn't have ended up in a team with you guys. Not, that I had anything against you. It's just we had, had an opportunity to really talk and become friends. But now that we've done it, I can't really imagine it any other way. It was a lot of fun and a lot of late nights designing, working on this. It's been a blast for me to be able to do that with you guys. I don't know if you want to say anything else before we explain it.
Like Cameron was saying, like we get the architecture degree in 5 years, but we really don't have a chance to see something in real life what we design. We put a lot of emphasis to, and I know when we first read about the project, it just seems so simple, just something that we can carry it and put it somewhere else. But it's not as simple. It's like you have to think on everything, every little piece has to work. And Professor Sensa really, I'm so glad that he got involved, like really involved. He was one of us. I never felt like, like he was like, I don't know, demanding, yes, but it's not like, yes, you have to do this and this. He was like really involved with us and also very enthusiastic about seeing it. The other thing is that I feel that we never did this for us, we did it for the museum. Since we started designing and thinking about concept, it wasn't about we want to win this, or it wasn't about, I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is that the museum and the goal of the museum was always on our mind. They wanted to reach communities and they wanted to reach remote communities and reach to kids. And the way how I'm thinking is that people don't go to the museum that often. So this is a great and amazing tool for the museum, like to go to this community, to not only Stillwater, but just to go to school, to go to a park and just attract community to come and enjoy it. And that was one of the main goals, do this dynamic and do this flexible. So thank you for everybody that support us along the way. And I mean, we're still on this is not done. But again, thank you, Professor Sensa, for really making this happen.
This started off as, I guess it seemed like a simple project, like everyone said, but as we went, it developed into something more, and you don't realize like how much goes into this. Like everything is very measured out and detailed, and it wouldn't have come this far, been so complex and worked so well if it wasn't for Professor Sansa and his help in directing us through this. And me and my teammates, I think we worked so well together. Like Cameron said, we didn't know each other before, but we got along so well, and I think that really helped us to design this and make it what it is today. And I just want to thank the museum for making this possible for us to be able to build this and display it. It's really something amazing that doesn't happen very often, and it's an amazing learning tool for our careers.
I guess we'll talk about a little bit about how it works now. I'll feel free to kind of jump in as we forget things and miss things. That's one of the kind of funny things about this process is we make so many decisions, and then we see something in our drawings or something, and we'll say, why is that way? And then we'll change it to something that we think is better, and then a day later realize why that was that way. It's just I constantly thinking about things, but as he said, it's static now, but the purpose is for it to be really flexible and to be able to move and accommodate a lot of different kinds of art, a lot of different kinds of surfaces and ways that you can kind of interact with it. And then all of these things I think the original challenge was to be able to set it up and take it down in 2 hours. we wanted to make it a lot quicker than that. It can be set up, taken down, kind of switched around in a matter of 5 to 10 minutes, something like that. So that was a big thing for us. And so I don't even know where to start with how to explain it, but you see it now as kind of this drawing surface. The idea was that it could be a drawing surface for multiple age groups, be diverse, and so it has the capability of being at kind of a more standing up level, or maybe for adults, and then it also has the capability of dropping down to kids' height. And so that kind of works with kind of unscrewing the leg locks here, pulling out these plugs, and then you can just kind of take the table out and put it down to the kid's height. And then the top leg is actually able to kind of swivel in, lock into the legs, and then it can rest on kind of that lower level of on that lower level. Yeah. What else?
There are also the surfaces, these actually pivoting. So actually you can use this surface for something, and you pivot the surface, and it's another one. So actually they're all the other ones that we are finishing developing. There is one that has a Lego table, and so the Lego can be eventually place it horizontally, this Lego table vertically, and so there's that opportunity, right? There was opportunity in the other one to do other pieces because we're finishing it up. And so, like Carmen said, it's really their design, and so they wanted to make it as flexible and to create multiple art or whatever as an educational piece. So even like the holes, sometimes you can put it, like we show here now, there are buckets, but they were flat, so it can be a completely flat surface. And then eventually there will be some graphic work in it that will enhance that kind of learning experience. And so again, there's more to come, which we are really excited about it. And so maybe then people less, because they still have to work with me, right? For the rest of their lives. So.
We also wanted to we wanted to have something fun and dynamic, even when it's being set up, because at first you just see everything that is folded and it's just a rectangle standing up, and then you just see this opening and unfolding everything and setting up the buckets and that grid wall. So it's even fun for children, not only to play in the use the surfaces, but also to play with the studio itself. And again, it's super flexible. You can do any art activities in it.
Do you want us to take the art stuff off? Do you want us to take things off of it? Do you want to flip it around?
Yeah, I'll just talk about the hardware a little bit.
Okay.
So one of the nice things about having kind of the different modules is there's supposed to be flexibility and kind of, depending on the space that you're in, to be able to set up multiple modules around it so it can either act, kind of on its own, or it can act as this whole kind of collection of tables. And so the way that it's kind of able to do that is when another module is set up right next to it, we developed these blocks that we ended up 3D printing, designed them in Rhino, kind of a modeling software. And so they're able to serve kind of two different ways, as locking to the tables or the frames around it, but then also as the table and the legs are swiveling up, it locks it into that frame so that you can fold it together and all the pieces kind of aren't just falling down around you. And so that's kind of how those work. There's a few different areas, we try to kind of keep that repetition of where, you know, it's kind of something as simple as having a quarter and you can just kind of flip it and use it in a couple different ways. I don't know, it's almost one of those things you have to kind of like play with, like see yourself and like twist things and kind of see what they're doing a little bit. The containers we laser cut plexiglass. They went through kind of a lot of different iterations of proportion and form. We cut them with a laser cutter and then bent them with a heating rod. So because it's kind of a difficult material to just glue together, and so bending it kind of minimalized the joints and made that a little bit easier.
And last thing I wanted to say, it's the old hardware was really proprietary. We designed all the locks and 2 or 3 different kinds. And so, but the last thing I want to also say is how the hinges. The hinges are quite beautiful. It's all made by wood. And so really there's nothing really out of the shelf in any way. Besides some of the screws we needed to use. And actually we did test for the pins that goes to the hinges. We actually tested, tried to do it with our 3D printing. Now our 3D printing is really mostly about prototyping. It's not for production, so it's not that strong, the final product. But we did some testing. We did some tension testing, and we start loading it and see how much we could do it. And then we decided that maybe it was better to go back with the stainless steel screw and whatever happens. But I really, in many ways, I'm very proud of all my students. Of course, they did a fantastic job, all of them, in their propositions. And of course, with the 3 of them, the relationship became stronger because we actually built them together. So I can never stop thanking them to do this one. It's a fantastic journey. So, and now it's on your hands, and we hope that you do the best of it, right? And it's a tool, and hope it'll be fun, and it's okay if it's break, we'll make more.
So. The design's been talked right, because I can see these being eventually commercially mass produced, and you guys losing out if you haven't done something like that.
Well, we thought about it, so we might. Okay, we have to. Yeah, it's something in our mind.
Because I see a demand for many of these types of things with the transition to the small house movement and the exorbitant rents in the big cities that people are going to migrate to. Having myself grown up in a big city, it's unaffordable. And so if I were to ever move back there, I would have to be in a very teeny tiny place and something extremely kind of mobile, and I could shift and change into to fit my needs. Yeah.
Carrie, why don't you talk a little bit about the movement in museums and why, what your experience with the power of something like this?
So when I first got here, there were no hands-on activities. We're a new museum, as you guys know, and I was the first educator on staff. So I thought it would be great for the community to feel like this museum was their museum, but it was everyone's museum, and that everyone would feel comfortable. And so I started doing a lot of research on different museums. And how many of you have been to museums and done some hands-on activities? Okay, so it's a thing, right? And so I thought it would be really great to bring here. I started, when I was doing my research, looking to see what type of structures or setups they had. And one challenge we have at this museum is that we have traveling exhibitions, and the space in which our education programs take place shifts from gallery to lobby, and also we do outreach as well. And so I found that really there was nothing like this. People had a pretty set space, and if they did have things that were mobile, they had a van, and they just used tables. And I figured, what a great opportunity to make something that would show a beautiful aesthetic and, hopefully bring people into the museum. And so I talked to Paulo, and he seemed very interested in developing an idea, and I can't tell you how exciting and fulfilling it was to work with all of the architecture students. They had amazing designs, as you can see, from all of them. And the research that everyone did was incredible. It blew me away. And then, not to mention the architecture program and building, ridiculous, right? So it was just really such an honor for me and also everyone else at the museum. Arlette did visits, Casey did visits, Vicki. So we were over there regularly, and we always felt very welcome into your space. And it was just a wonderful experience. And every challenge I threw out, those guys stepped up and met and exceeded my expectations. It's just been such a wonderful experience, and the feedback we're getting from this museLAB is that it's everyone's new favorite thing at the museum, and people are just really embracing it and excited to see what's going to fill in the little dotted areas down there. So I just cannot thank you guys enough, and yeah, thank you so much. It's been really wonderful. So
Thank you, and we're looking forward for more of these.
Yes.